Okay. Primarily, I am one who has gotten really good at shifting my attention elsewhere to make myself feel better. Now, can we speak about avoidances that are not healthy? For instance, if I had a choice to not think about the problems or the negative issues in my life, I will distract myself by getting high. I'll do something, I'll get happy. And for me, that'll be numbing out or distracting myself with what seems pleasurable at the time. And therefore, I'm just not thinking the bad thoughts. And then one day, if I leave something untended to, once I come out of my happy place, I've got this pile of, unattended stuff that I never paid attention to, and now I've got to deal with it.
Well, the difference between getting high in your avoidance of thinking about something is that you don't get any real work done in terms of changing your vibrational patterns. In other words, when you are conscious and fully awake and deliberately choosing a thought that feels better, you are deliberately activating a vibration that's setting up a whole chain of future events, where when you are just distracting yourself from it so there is no conscious acknowledgement of the vibrational pattern change, then it doesn't change. And that's why the addiction to going back to it and going back to it and going back to it is so strong. In other words, there is the relief that is experienced, but there is no real change in vibration. We are not for or against the utilization of such chemicals, but what we notice is that nothing really changes in the vibration, and so you have to continue to turn to the chemical to find that relief over and over again. Where if you are consciously, deliberately finding a thought that feels better and actually achieving it, you shift your whole vantage point vibrationally, and you have a whole different array of thoughts then to choose from.
When in times of escape, what I'm often seeking in trying to find that happy place is to be happy. Oftentimes I feel numb, lifeless, no purpose, nothing, that I'm just simply occupying space. And for me to have that desire to live, to actually get up, function, do anything, is sometimes an effort for me to just want to exist in the first place.
But what you're talking about is rather extreme, because when you heard us a lot talking today about finding a subject, whether it is unwanted or wanted, and focusing upon it, and in the process of focusing on it, positive or negative, it escalates. And so when you find yourself at a place where you're feeling sort of numb, that is usually a very strong disconnection from our point of view. In other words, your natural state is one of feeling very, very good. Your unnatural state is one of feeling very, very bad. And feeling sort of something, nothing in between, really does not fall on the side of connection as much as it falls on the side of disconnection. So we would say what that is, that's being in a position where you have allowed yourself to focus upon something that got you pretty well pinched off from who you really are. And you're sort of still in that place where you have not yet found the thought that's bringing you back to who you are. Now, there is no fast solution to going from a place of disconnection to a place of connection if you are intent upon solving your problem, because there is so much lost time spent in churning around in the problem. And that's why we do not think that the diversion that you talked about, our friend talked about the diversion of sleep, you're talking about the diversion of drugs, all of these things are very well intentioned, because very often what they do is break the cycle of vibration. If you are in a place where you are very discouraged or very disappointed or feeling strong negative emotion that sometimes just feels like emptiness, and we think that that's a good name for it because the pinching off of the source that is you would feel sort of empty. Negative emotions all feel sort of empty. When you find yourself in a place like that, sometimes you can't reach for a thought that feels that much better because you've already activated so many thoughts that do not feel so good. And something that changes the attention is very good. A nap can be very helpful, or utilizing something that distracts you from it. Meditation is our favorite tool from that, because meditation is the quieting of the mind. And when you quiet your thoughts, you stop all resistance. And when you stop all resistance, your vibration naturally raises. But what we really want you to hear is that we do not want to address those dramatic times and try to show you a way out. Instead, we want to talk about the less dramatic times when you can easily find a way out, and we want you to practice more and more and more of those less dramatic times, which means the dramatic times will come less frequently, if at all. In other words, sometimes people say, I have this really, 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 really big problem that I want to address, and we say, as you've heard today on a few occasions, we don't want to address a really, really, really weird problem. We want to talk about something that is much softer and lighter, because your path to where you want to be can be started from any vantage point, and we wouldn't start from the depths of despair. So that's why we do not think that it is a wrong choice to just distract yourself when you get there and then make your better, stronger, best efforts from a place of feeling better. We think that after a gathering like this, where you have tuned in, tapped in a very powerful way, would be the best vantage point from which to set forth some intentions. In other words, after a gathering like this, if we were in your physical shoes, we would go find some lovely place to be. We'd go do something very special. We would carry the good feeling moment longer, and we would show ourselves that we do have the ability to escalate something that feels good into more, into more, into more.
Lately, that was great. Thank you. Lately, I've been crying uncontrollably, just crying, and
Well, it's another sort of distraction. In other words, sometimes people will say to us that they are crying uncontrollably and actually coming out of it feeling better. And we say the reason that they feel better is because the crying itself becomes a distraction. Suddenly, your nose is running all over the place, and you've got to deal with that, and you're thinking about other things, and your physical body feels differently than it did before, and suddenly the crying itself becomes an issue. And sometimes you see it even with children. They'll get so involved in crying, they forget what they were even crying about. And that is to your advantage, you see. The most important thing is, if you are reaching for a path of least resistance, and let's say that you find yourself crying and you're coming out of the crying, and now you are evaluating the crying and you are saying, oh, I'm so stupid for letting it get to me in this way, is that a path of greater resistance than saying, oh, well, there was a sort of release for me in that? In other words, give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Always assume that whatever you did, no matter what anybody else thought about it, was well motivated. Always give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Say things to yourself like, well, that was the best thing that I knew to do, and it turned out that it was a pretty good thing. Or, I feel better for having done that. Or, while there might have been other choices, that was the choice I made, and I'm not unhappy with that choice. In other words, just keep talking yourself into a place of giving yourself the benefit of the doubt. And you'll be amazed at how quickly you can come back out into the light, even from a very dark, uncomfortable place.
thank you.
Your inner being is always right there with you, and your inner being is always rooting for you and encouraging you. And sometimes we think that it is strange that you do not hear more often those encouraging words. And if you have discouraging words playing in your mind more than you do encouraging words, these are words that you've picked up along your physical trail that you've begun to practice, and you've made them the more dominant words. But we really want you to start listening for those encouraging words, because your inner being is always offering them to you. As Esther is preparing herself to receive us, as she stands here and steadies herself and quiets her mind, the first words that we flow to her are always words of appreciation. We always have a little chat with her, and she will say something to us like, Abraham, I'm wanting to speak clearly your words, which means she's wanting to receive these blocks of thought and put the best words with them that she can find. And we always say to her, we are so appreciative of your part, and you are doing such a very good job. And you always find the perfect words. In other words, we are always spewing reassurance to her to let her know that we believe in her ability to receive, you see. And it is the same with your inner being. Your inner being is always saying to you, we believe in your ability to make the right decisions, and we are not unhappy with any decisions that you have made. And there will be many decisions for you to make along the way, and as you make them, they get easier and easier and easier. Your inner being loves you so very much and wants you to feel that love for yourself, you see. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I was just introduced to your work a couple of weeks ago. And so I've been listening to the 5 CDs, the introductory set. And there's one thing on one of the CDs that really had me stop for a moment. And that was when you spoke about disappointment And you said when you feel disappointment, it's your inner guidance telling you didn't want it in the first place. And I want to clarify that. I wasn't sure I understood what you were saying on the tape, and I'd like clarification on disappointment.
Well, a feeling of disappointment is an indicator that what you're thinking right now is not a vibrational match to the desire that you hold. In other words, when you have a desire for something and you believe that you cannot achieve it, that's what that feeling of disappointment is. All negative emotion, no matter what you call it, in every single case, is you activating a thought within you right here and now that doesn't match with your own desire. And that feeling of disappointment is just a pattern of thought that is so constant. It's really what you believe, and it is in opposition to something that you believe that you want right now.
So when you're wanting something and you believe that that's what you're wanting, and then it doesn't occur, and then the disappointment arises, that's where I'm having trouble connecting these two. Let's say I want something, or I've met somebody and I want something to happen and then it doesn't happen and then I get disappointed, or I want a project to happen and it doesn't happen and I get disappointed. Well, how does that, what is it wanting?
What we always say about a feeling of disappointment is that in every case it is taking score too soon. In other words, there is never any reason for you to ever be disappointed about anything, because everything that you want is flowing to you. And sometimes a soft way around that is, if there is something that I want that isn't unfolding in the way that I think it is, sometimes a way of softening that and taking a path of lesser resistance is by saying, well, maybe there's something that I want that I cannot see. Maybe the universe is satisfying in me in some way that I cannot see. But the long and the short of it is, well-being is flowing to me whether I can see it or not, and I'm just taking score too soon. That's the way we would deal with disappointment. Disappointment, let's isolate it just a little further here. So, I have defined through my life experience something that I want, and I believe I really want it. And we say to you, anything that you believe you want, you should be able to achieve. Source is not saying, oh, she thinks she wants it, but she really doesn't want it, so we won't give her what she thinks she wants, we will give her what she really wants. Source energy is giving you what you want, and you can tell whether you want something or not. And very often, the things that you feel the strongest disappointment about are the things that you really, 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 really want the most. But what's happening is you've practiced a vantage point that is so opposite of what, in other words, it's like saying, I want to be over there, but I'm over here. And we say, well, talk to us about what's over there. And you say, well, I'd like to talk about what's over there, but let me tell you how awful it is over here. And that's what is at the basis of most disappointment. It's amplifying mostly what is, while you're leaving what you really want untended. So the reason that you feel disappointed is because you're not letting yourself vibrate in harmony with your own desire. That's what disappointment is. You're not allowing yourself to be, at least right now, a match to what you say you want. And almost without exception, the reason that you are doing that is because you are trying to justify having it by explaining how hard it is without it. It's really an interesting cycle, you see. So we would like to just sort of shake all of you and say, there's no reason to ever be disappointed because everything that you want is coming. And you say, okay, so when's it going to get here? And we say, well, now there you're doing that. You're doing that impatient thing where you're noticing that it isn't here. Let's talk about how wonderful it will be when it gets here. And you say, well, I'm afraid to talk about how wonderful it will be when it gets here because I'm afraid that I will just feel more disappointed that it isn't here. And we say, well, where does that leave you? In other words, I'm afraid to think about it because all it will do is remind me that I don't have it. And we say, you have to find a way of thinking about what you want and feel good at the same time that you're thinking about it in order for the disappointment to go away. Disappointment, fear, anger, it doesn't matter what you call the negative emotion, is your guidance system saying to you, this thing you say you want is not active in your vibration right now, and law of attraction cannot yield it to you unless you do something about changing your vibration.
Ah, very good. That's, yeah.
Fear says, the thing that you want cannot come to you right now because you're holding a vibration that is different from what you are wanting. So what you want cannot come right now while you're holding this vibration. It's a lovely thing to have this meter within you that lets you know in every moment. And that's why we say sometimes people get so busy about trying to isolate what's wrong. And we say it's so much easier just to think about the things that are right.